Hi everybody, welcome. How are you all going today? Please let me know in the comments. I want to check in and see how you're all going. So today I want to talk to you about relationships as mirrors. Yes, we are mirrors to all that is in our reality. And relationships, well, they are finely tuned mirrors. Yes. Why? Because we have attachments to those relationships, right? So whether it is family, whether it is your significant other, usually they're the most finely tuned mirrors. So when I say mirrors, they are a reflection to our vibration, right? To our beliefs, to our perceptions. And you can use this to find out more about who you are. So if you're in a high vibration, they'll reflect that. If you're exploring a lot of fear, well, yep, they'll mirror that back to you too. So when you can understand that there is a mirror system in play, you can start to perceive all your triggers in terms of relationships as gifts. You can then start to see those around you as master teachers, because those that trigger you the most are your wisest teachers. Yes, they may not be aware of it. But for instance, if you're triggered by negative emotion, then they are reflecting a limiting belief that you have within you, a shadow self within you, a part of you that needs integration, that needs to be brought out into the darkness, into the light, for you to transmute, for you to address. So these could be, old traumas, wounds, or just limiting beliefs you have about yourself or your reality, based in duality, based in fear. But on the reverse, because we are living in a polarity system, right? If you're perceiving your reality through love and seeing the high perspective in all things, and if you're just high vibing, well, guess what? You'll notice that they'll reflect that too. And you don't even have to say a word. It is your perceptions, and your perceptions and your thoughts and your beliefs shape your frequency. But it's not just that, it's about feeling, tapping into energies of the heart, right? You might be in a point of like, oh yeah, I see the high perspective and all is well in my life, right? Yet there's a lot of fear in here, that you're feeling fear, or you haven't delved deep into your heart or opened up your heart. So it's a combination of the two, all right? So it's kind of like when you're triggered by someone else, it's kind of like their higher self and your higher self playing this role together to help trigger each other, to help in the evolution process, right? So you can be in the moment and have someone trigger you in fear and not even say a word. They could be in fear, and if you have a negative emotion, you know that they're reflecting a belief within you. Now, in that moment, you may not be able to see why it's happening and the limiting belief that you have within you. But by you just changing your perception, by even cultivating gratitude for you are going through a soul lesson here, if you can kind of detach from that third dimensional perspective and see them as a master teacher, you can practice acceptance. You don't have to agree with certain behaviors, but it's about being in acceptance, right? So let go of the resistance, and that's when you can see the messages. And you can, in the moment, yes, you can actually get to a point where you consider the limiting belief, but that doesn't always happen. But if you can just get to a higher place, a higher understanding that this is for you, you will find that there's a feeling of relief that comes over you. And you can cultivate love for that other person or other people. And this will again raise your frequency, and then you can notice that the other person or people will change without you saying a word, because they're then reflecting your frequency. So you can practice this in the moment. But yes, at times we can be too triggered and it's too challenging to do in the moment, but you can do it, right? Then that's why it's about practicing this in your everyday reality. So when it comes to those moments that trigger you the most, because you've had practice with it, you can more easily get to that frequency and that higher perspective, right? So we all have that ability because we are one. There is no separation. So those that trigger you in fear or also reflect the love that you are. They are all reflections of the one, of you, of each other. So if there's a particular event and you don't get triggered with negative emotion, right, then you know that they are not reflecting your mirror any longer. So it depends on you if you're triggered or not. That's your clue here. And if they are in fear but you feel completely at peace and love, and you know, you could then be in a high vibrational place, right, to receive the guidance on what to say or what actions to take that is aligned to the highest good of all involved. So to receive that information, that inspired information, the wisdom, you can only get to that by seeing a higher perspective. Because yes, if you're triggered, yes, you might have an urge to say something, to take certain actions, but that's out of fear, not out of love, right? So if you can get to the point of acceptance, because that's the frequency of love, even cultivate that even further in gratitude, that's when you tap into that information flowing through you and all beings, right? And that's when you can also shift the situation even further. But yeah, you can be high vibing and you'll notice that person reflecting that with you. And even, you know, they really help to open our, you know, awareness to blind spots that we have within us. You know, perhaps, you know, it could be something just like, I don't know, you might be complaining about something, or you just feel like complaining. You might not even be verbalizing that, but you just feel like you're negative about some certain actions, and then you might notice that particular people around you are all of a sudden reflecting this negativity back. So that's just another example of how even if you're not verbally expressing like a negativity, if it's in your field, they reflect that, whether it's love, whether it is fear. So you take this, use this as your advantage, right? You can use this to learn more about who you are and learn more about what you are not. Learn more about the illusions and giving you opportunities to practice more radical self-love, because that's why we're here, right? To practice more self-love and acceptance of everything within us, all aspects of us, but also with others. Because if we love ourselves but judge another, we're also judging ourselves, because all others are us, right? We are mirror systems to each other, to everything, to all situations, right? Yes, we do have soul contracts, which what is also known as pre-birth intentions. These are themes, right, in our life. But understand that the polarity between fear and love, darkness and light, perceptions of darkness and light, it's how we evolve through the universe. And this is mirrored and expressed in many different contexts, right? It's the polarity. We don't have to suffer through polarity. It's how we perceive it. We can use it as a tool if we're aware of it, right? And yeah, it's not always easy, guys. It's not always easy. And you'll find, right, those that trigger us the most, that's when we have more difficulty, like seeing the higher perspective. So it's actually wanted, guys. It might not feel like it's wanted, but it allows you to have more awareness about your vibration, right? Hi Bertha, how you going? Oh, it's my pleasure, Bertha. Thank you for your appreciation. Yeah, so guys, if you have any comments, just pop it down in the comments here. And yeah, I'd like to know how you're going with that. Are you using relationships as mirrors? Are you recognizing the reflection? Yeah, it takes practice, guys. It doesn't happen overnight. It does take practice, and it takes courage. So it's about letting go of our perception of ego and be willing to see more of who we are. Perhaps we're resisting a lot of aspects of us, dimensions of us. Perhaps we've repressed it, right? But everyone around us, conditions around us, trigger us to allow that to be brought to the surface, for us to address it, to resolve it, to transmute it with our acceptance, with our love. This is how we remember more of our oneness nature. This is how we activate more of our intuitive psychic abilities. If you want psychic development, then you can't avoid this. This is how we increase our frequency. If you want to be more connected with spirit, if you want to live your life in more joy, and it's about you practicing this, consciously practicing, seeing the oneness in love in all things, in all beings, because all beings is you. Everything in reality is you. Yeah, if you want to remember who you are, beyond the human perception, that you're a source, that you are the universe. If you want to tap into and communicate with all aspects of you, to perceive and travel throughout the multiverse, if you want all of that, if you really want to remember who you are as the divine expression in physical reality, then you can't avoid the polarity system. So relationships are a very powerful tool for you to see, for you to explore what needs to be addressed within you to get to that vibration, right? Where you can remember who you are. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you're watching this, right? Look forward to connecting with you all again very soon. So love and light to you all. Farewell.